Good morning. I'm out on the S18 this morning. A new spot. I haven't ridden here before. I've always wanted to come here. It's close to Bramhill in Berkshire, and it's a massive open forest trail area. It's still very boggy and muddy, but I'm gonna explore here and get some more miles on the wheel. But today's discussion, what I want to do is I want to start a little discussion on the video, and I want you guys to drop some comments down below of this is going to be suspension settings. So I just want to focus, I just want to make one video where I just list down my suspension settings for someone else to use with my type of rider weight and gear on, and then I also want you guys to add some of your details. So rider weight, main chamber, negative chamber, and then also your rebound settings that you use on your wheel. So yeah, but first, the most important bit is get some miles on the wheel and explore. So come along, and I hope you enjoy the ride. It's such an awesome forest area. It's just there's so many again dog walkers, and there's actually some mountain bikers here, so there's probably really nice routes around here, but yeah, it's super wet again. Sorry guys, that's the UK. Whoop, whoop. We make the best out of it. But yeah, it's some really nice areas, so I'm going to keep on circling the outer route and see how it looks like. See if it's not too boggy, but it's absolutely beautiful. And what I want to do is then stop and show you around my suspension system and how it looks like after about 200 miles of riding, and then just discuss my settings. But let's keep on going. Let's have a quick look at my suspension and how it looks like after about 200 miles on it so far. So this is the rear, and mine does have this these washers here. So that's another thing that I want to confirm. Anyone that received their wheels later, because this is the first batch, my wheel was from the first batch, but if you do have a wheel that is fairly new or from the newer batches, please let me know if you also have these washers. But yeah, it's my boots here for these rods, the suspension sort of sliders, is a little bit notched, but they've been holding up okay. They do pop out for some bizarre reason, so if you do take a big hit, they pop out. But yeah, so that's mine on both sides. And then what I do is I run 220 in the main chamber and 90 in the negative. So main chamber at the top and negative 90 at the bottom. Okay, then, and also my rider weight is I've set it to the 75 kilogram, because I weigh about say 70 kilos, and then with a bit of gear on or whatever, it comes to not 75 but say about 73. And I'm always riding with a backpack with some water in, and so on, so knee pads, elbow pads, whatever. But that's from the suspension side, really, guys. So it's 220 in the main one, the top chamber, and then 90 in the negative. And then I also make sure that I just set this little ring when I do change it. I set it to fully to the top, and then as soon as I take my first big hits or whatever and I ride the wheel, it usually comes down to about there. and that's usually good for me. A little bit lower, probably a little bit lower, the next thing down, and that's usually a good travel on the shock. But yeah, this whole area of the wheel stays very clean. You know, I haven't really cleaned this wheel since I got it, and it's really clean. You can see there in the back is those back connection points, or the pivot point with the washers in. So that's like right there in the back. They all still look fairly okay. I do just wipe it clean sometimes, just if there's excessive mud and water and stuff in there, what there isn't usually, but I just wipe it clean and then just keep a bit of lubrication on there. But yeah, it's been really rock solid, to be honest. No complaints so far. And this is now riding like super muddy conditions. You know, here in the UK it's been raining for like about a week and a bit, and it's just been, you know, the forest and stuff is like really wet, and I try and ride the forest because it's more fun for me. So yeah, the wheel stays really clean. But what I do find is the mud does cake in here in the bottom, and it's a bit of a pain to get it out of there. But a bit of water should sort that out. But yeah, very impressed with this wheel. I'm just waiting for a bit of longer spell of dry weather, so I can hit some higher speeds on the trails, because at the moment it's basically a balancing act. You balance to try and get past the trails or get along the trails. But yeah, absolutely awesome. Okay guys, so that's my settings, you know, and I want to do a specific video about this, just so it's not a video with a lot of other information in. It's just the shock settings, so I can have it as a reference for myself, and maybe someone else can also benefit from it. And also, if you guys have if you feel like you want to share your rider settings of your S18s, please feel free to drop it down in the comments below. Like, important stuff is your rider weight, you know, what type of trails you ride, if it's mostly road or mostly trail riding or whatever. The other thing that's important is the main chamber, negative chamber. Oh, and then the last thing that I wanted to cover is the rebound. So rebound is how quickly the shock goes back to its normal position. So mine is, I usually I clicked it all the way to the fast rebound, so it retracts very quickly, and then I roll 10 clicks in. And for that 10 clicks, it just gives me enough. You know, when I hit small little bumps or whatever, it retracts properly. I think if you do like big jumps and big hits, I think the slower retraction would be better, and that's usually what they suggest on motorbikes as well. If you do big jumps or whatever, you know, it takes the hit and then it comes up slowly. Where you have a lot of small bumps, repetitive bumps, that's where you want it faster, so the shock reacts quicker and keeps the wheel pretty much on the road. Another thing that ties into the shock really is the tire pressure, and I'll add that on as another stat. And I think well, my tire pressure that I'm running at the moment is 31 psi, and that's been working perfect. The only thing that I do is once a month I check my main and my negative chamber, and I check my tire pressure just to make sure that there's no slow leaks or whatever, so when I do grab the wheel, I can get on the wheel and get out. So that's my stats, you know, rider weight, main chamber, negative chamber, what type of trail you're riding, and then also your tire pressure. So please feel free to drop down in the comments below. It might help someone else, just to, if they get a new wheel, to sort of just set up the base of that wheel. So yeah, let's carry on with the trail. boom, came off in the mud. Slow tumble, but laid the wheel down in the mud on its side. Beautiful. Whole shoe and everything is like caked in the mud. And that's the area. Came down exactly there. I thought by myself, you know, come on, you can do it. And then I just basically got off and I slid out. It's so slippery. Look at it. Proper boggy. I'm gonna make it through, yeah? No problemo. Okay guys, that's my ride done. It's I thought it was gonna be drier here, but it's not. All the main areas is pretty much dry, as you can see, or easy to actually ride, but there's so many people around. It's 12 o'clock in the day, so everyone is out for their lunchtime walk. So I think I've done about an hour's ride. I think it's about an hour's ride. So I'm pretty much done. I hope you guys found it useful for the settings on your S18, the shock settings. And I actually bought some goggles for these, for the helmet. And I'm gonna probably try it out on the next ride. So watch out for the next one. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers guys. Boom.